Hey Mexicans, welcome back to this new video where today we're going to be looking at a scenario where what if civilization started over. So in the last episode we saw Galicia and Catalonia declare independence along with the Green French existing in this Brittany country, which I'm going to work on these provinces a bit, but yeah. And then we also had the Romans who were pretty much cooked, absolutely destroyed. So yeah, and also the rivaling alliance. Both alliances had to disband because if they didn't, then yeah. But yeah, the peace treaty forced both alliances to disband. So the Right Arrow Alliance, which yeah, so the Right Arrow Alliance was disbanded, and so was the 3-point star, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, with that being said, now that the provinces of Brittany are up to date for the most part, now we can take a look at the new episode. Oh yeah, quick little thing. I did update the provinces in the expanded lands, so now it's a lot better. And Cyprus is just gonna be one province because I don't think it's too good just to split that. So yeah. Anyway, with that being said, we can go ahead and get to the fun stuff, which is kind of what we've been looking for. So first up, Carthage and Egypt make a treaty. They make a new province in this area. This is what the province area is, and we see an agreement to split this land, and this is the dividing line. Wait, this is on background. Dang it! It's supposed to be on provinces. So yeah, this is the province idea, and we will get to the border change now. So yeah, we see the line being drawn between Carthage and Egypt. So this part will go to not all that. Okay, there. I forgot to change the flood mode. So yeah, that part will go to Egypt, and this part will go to Carthage. In Egypt, we'll explore into some more territory. They get more camels, and they discover good chunks of like the deserty parts of Egypt, or basically all of it. And they're looking to expand into a greater empire. No, I don't think they're not gonna get as big as the Egyptian Empire in anal regions WICSO, which I don't think is gonna continue anymore, but they will get an empire. It just won't be as big. And it could be prone to collapsing at any point, but yeah, they expand upon this area. Which will get them a lot of land in this area. And ultimately, you can see what land they got in the province map. It's noticeable. But Carthage and Iberia will not sit idly by. Ooh, Iberia has the same color as Egypt. I will kind of shift this orange to a darker orange. But it can't be too dark. Hold up a second. Why is this not working? Oh, the recolor tool's not working because I clicked the wrong color. Okay. So yeah, this is the orange it has now. It's not the brown team, but it's definitely its own shade. But regardless, we will see the Carthage people expand a lot, especially within the inlands, as this whole entire part is discovered. And they will most certainly expand to no extent. But the Iberians here, who are still empire-y of sorts, will get Morocco. Before ultimately a country starts in what is essentially the Western Sahara area. That's right. The born of Sahara is the birth of Sahara is here. They will kind of expand to engulf more areas. But Sahara's land could be at risk at any time, considering that, well, Iberia's there and it pretty much does want to expand. But also, not a lot of people live in this area. Just like generally, this area has more population than most of these areas, so they might not even be able to administer these claims. But we'll see. It just means that chances are that like Carthage could like get down there, which they will definitely do something along the lines of getting down, as they want to expand their borders along here. So they will kind of embrace their Libya a bit. But now we're moving on to other parts of the world, where we do see the Nordics finally start to get countries and discovered. Some refugees from this Danish part of the Dutch will go ahead and go up into Sweden. They take over Stockholm and get into the Norway area. And so they discover this southern part, which is the more habitable parts. 2 countries will start out of this. So first, the Norway country. I'm gonna try to find a green that. Yeah, I think this one will work. I think this is the one that Norway's in the other series, but whatever. They expand upon this southern area, a bit north too, but ultimately they go for a more cut off into this southern part motif. This Norway is supposed to be an empire. But to compete, we have a Sweden, but not a big Sweden. Kind of just a coastal Sweden. Most of this ultimately goes to Norway, just because Sweden could have taken enough time. So yeah, now these two are rivals, and they were gonna try to compete with each other. Some Swedish people escape into this part of Finland. Which will ultimately kind of isolate itself a little bit. Like, it's kind of like it knows that the Europeans are down here, but like the rest of the Europeans are down here, but like they're waiting for like a massive exploration to happen within the rest of Europe for that to really go into the rest of it. But now we do kind of see Mesopotamian explorers go farther into like the Persia area, as they're kind of looking at. Some of them are looking to expand. Some of them are looking for a new place of founding. And they make it over here to this part of India. And some of them decide to split off and start a country in India. Kind of Persia too, but mostly just India. Could this expand to be the line team of a Disney series? Not really. I mean, it'll be kind of like it. It will kind of have some influence, but trust me, it's not going to be the same. Because pretty soon, most of the areas of Persia that Persindia did have will go to the red team pretty much. Which reminds me, this is like ultimately frick. This is ultimately the border of this. And we will now take a look at a treaty which splits up this entire thing. So yeah. Okay, so the partition went pretty evenly, actually. I actually think that Persindia does have a lot more of Persia than it did in the Adiz's WICSO. So actually, this is pretty much bigger. However, this could get smaller if anything goes wrong. But we do see this the Persindians go exploring. They go over here into India. They find the Himalayas and decide to avoid them as much as possible. They do make it to the other coast of India when they realize that India is a peninsula. They want to take advantage of it. Some do split off into the Bangladesh area, which will find its own footing eventually. As we see some of it going to the Burma area or Myanmar. So yeah, this area is completely claimed or discovered. And here's what the Persendians decide to take. We really see Persendia start to gain its footing in India as Bangladesh is also a country. But there has been a secret country that has been developing this entire series from like kind of Arabian explorers. They were kind of going around, not the ocean, but like they were secretly going away from Arabia, going into the red team and all that, coming into like the Persindia area. So like technically the red team or these split offs did not really discover India. They were technically already discovered by these blue team people, but nobody even knew. And these blue team people did end up going past this line. So technically that there's more in here that was discovered than what we originally thought. And we will take a look at this country now. So the green team meets up with everything, and then Tibet and Vietnam, yeah, Sorry for having that paused. I honestly genuinely forgotten. If there's any things that I was paused for that I missed, then I will kind of edit it a bit and voice over something. But yeah, regardless, one more thing that happens is the finally all the exploration of like all of Europe, including the Russian parts. And the kind of Russian state does grow. It's a little more Belarusian than anything, but it's developing. And it'll soon look pretty recognizable as they expand into Europe. And the powers are like, okay, we gotta split this thing up. Pretty soon it's gonna be all fully filled in. And so let's take a look at this peace treaty. Okay, so now the continent looks something like this. Really interesting. But we also see that the Nordics have expanded a bit. So let's see these expansions. So we see the Norwegians have completely surrounded the Swedish, and the Finnish have expanded to be Finland. The Russians have expanded a bit past their borders too, as they get pretty much that area. As we soon see, they get this area too, pretty much taking their form essentially. Well, the green team decides to finalize expansion here and there, like right there. And you also round off this edge a bit. And the Koreans and the Chinese are kind of like, yeah, we want a bit here, but not too much. Like the Tibetans also kind of reach over to this weird shape. But yeah, with that being said, that'll end this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a new video. Peace out.